Hi, my name's D. Bethel, creator, writer, and artist of the webcomic Long John, which you can find at longjohncomic.com, here to talk about a Sketch Friday drawing I did of Madmartigan from the film Willow, drawn in remembrance and memoriam, I guess, for the passing of Val Kilmer, the actor that played Madmartigan in Willow, and who had died in the days before I did this drawing. I wrote about sort of my thoughts on Val Kilmer on the website, which you can find again at longjohncomic.com. So here I want to talk about drawing this thing. I haven't done many memorial or in memoriam drawings before, and I wanted to do something not necessarily unique. I didn't need to stand out, but something that actually was more indicative of maybe not only what the character means to me, but with the kind of artist I am and the art that I make. And so it took a long time to kind of figure out exactly what to do. Early on, you saw me draw actually like a recreation of a shot from Willow, where I literally had the film frame up as reference and was drawing from the reference. And I'm like, I don't know, other people can do, and I thought other people can do that better. And I make comics, so I figured let's do like a short comic, and in this case, a 2-panel comic that captured the scene that I felt captured the character of Madmartigan the best. And so I went with the scene when the main characters meet him for the first time, because there's a great dialogue as part of that scene. And the character is just so desperate, and because of that, so arch in terms of his expressions and behaviors, that it really gave me a lot of room to play with facial expression and posing. And it was funny because I decided to approach it like a comic book page, I was presented with the same problems I have usually in the thumbnailing stage, where you're just kind of working out the shots. And I got really stuck on like, what's the right angle? What's the correct sort of way to show the character in a way that I feel represents that character the most, instead of just doing like a normal drawing where you're just kind of just letting what happens on the page happen and manipulating it as you go. So there's a lot of reworking at the beginning of this, because I really just wanted to tell the story that I wanted to tell with these 2 panels. And so it was a much more difficult thing to get started, but once I got there, it went pretty easily. During this drawing, I really struggled with likeness. I'd made early attempts to try to capture the likeness as much as possible, realizing that's not really my forte. And so it was more like an exercise in caricature, trying to figure out what are the things that really make Val Kilmer identifiable. For me, it was about sort of the sharpness of the cheekbones and sort of the way his mouth looks. It sounds so weird to say out loud, but those are the things I was really trying to capture, until I got to a point where I just said, screw it. I'll do my best. Once I accepted that, it just became about the part of drawing that I really like, which is telling the story through visuals. Once I gave up on the idea of making a likeness, the drawing came much easier. And I found with the ink wash toning that I did, I was able to sort of dial in the likeness a bit more using shadow and shading to accentuate the aspects of his face that I feel are most recognizable. It was fun drawing in a really loose kind of style. You could argue that Long John is pretty loose as well. But since this isn't going into a book or anything, I really just kind of got to do more gestural drawing, especially in that first panel. And it really was fun to stretch those muscles and those storytelling muscles. Something I've said before is really the only time I draw is when I'm drawing pages. But to just get this storytelling out quickly in a very gestural manner was really fun. And I'm not a person that says drawing is fun a lot of the time. It was encouraging, and also, as I'm talking about it now, makes me think maybe I should try doing more of these like 2-panel scenes for movies, or maybe even scenes from life. It was a fun exercise, and in hindsight especially, seems like a really interesting approach to just getting drawings out and keeping my craft as honed as possible. So again, you can find my work at longjohncomic.com. I'm D. Bethel, and thank you for watching me draw.